But yeah, those waves were cool. I got my skinny dipping in. And I did it up in the rainforest too.
That I think that falls under the honesty principle.
What's that?
Skinny dipping.
It's vulnerability, bro.
Yeah, honesty is
That
vulnerability.
yeah, that's the deepest form of honesty is, just like I used to say early in the meetings. All right, dudes. I got a little dick and my mom probably never really loved me.
Right?
So now that you know it, now we can talk and get over it.
Yeah. Now we can talk about the real stuff.
That's right. Just take it all off and go.
Right?
You ain't got nothing else to be scared of.
I hadn't listened to Mickey Bush in a
Uh
while. I
huh.
was listening to his husband. He goes, anybody else? And like one or two guys rose their hand. He goes, uh-huh. And the rest of you lying mothers.
All right. Welcome, my brothers and sisters, to Two Old
All right.
Goats. Let's get a little uncomfortable.
All right. I get too crazy uncomfortable on a birthday type meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You celebrated a milestone.
Yes, I did. It was as of February 28th, yesterday. It's 11 years. So I'm 11
Yeah.
years and 1 day old. I'm
All
still
right.
a baby in this thing.
Yeah, that's what Earl says. Stay a newcomer.
That's right.
Well, I'd say you safely passed what does it say after the third step prayer? We thought well before this, the point of no return. I think you're past the point of no return.
Honestly, I have no desire to return at all.
Yeah.
I love the way my life is. The highs, the lows, I'll take them all every day. I love it.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my dad, which celebrates like 30, I think 34 years, 35 years coming up. And he started laughing. He was like, you don't remember the first time were introduced to AA was when I was 10 years sober. And I said, no, I have no idea. He's like, yeah, you were drunk.
Yeah.
You
Of
were
course.
wasted. I was like, what?
He
I was
probably
only,
offered him a drink.
yeah, he said, I don't even remember meeting with him, but he said I was, it was, so I was kicked out of my house when I was 15. And that coming up summer, I needed to make some money. And so I got a bus ticket. And from Missouri, I rode up to Nebraska to work with my uncle over the summer. And I learned how to do tile. And it was that summer that my dad, Tom, reached out to me and wanted to talk to me. And I don't remember meeting with him, but apparently I spent a day with him and he talked about, his sobriety and stuff. And he said I just laughed at him the whole time. It's like, it ain't my fault you can't handle your alcohol, old man.
All right.
But he was only he would have been, 30, 35. Back then, he would have been 35 years old. I think it was around there, 35.
Well,
I was 16. He was, 35 years old.
yeah. When you're 16, 35 is ancient.
Well, yeah, he's old as dirt.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he said he remembered his 10th or 11th birthday. He said he was up in Montana hunting, and he was up on top of this mountain, and he said the sky was purple. And he thought about his sobriety, and he said he reached up and grabbed that purple sky, and he said he never turned back. And I said I had the similar deal this past week. We went to Puerto Rico. And I was up in the mountains in the rainforest, and the sky was beautiful, purples and pinks. And I just thought about where I was and where I'm at. And I think I was sharing with you earlier today with the guys about, this way of living, man. It's never dull. I don't have any dull moments.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful. And my dad was saying, he goes, well, you guys are very blessed on the programs that you were introduced to. The program he was introduced to was very political and very regimented, and you can only discuss these certain things. And he goes, the program you guys work is from the heart. You guys talk about what's in your heart and discuss that. I said, yeah, we do that about just about everything.
Yeah,
We can even talk about politics and religion. But the
right.
the deal is eventually that conversation gets turned a little bit into the program. We try to fit the program into that conversation some way or somehow. And typically, if there's no way to introduce the program into that conversation, we don't talk about it anymore.
Right. If there's no way, there's a spiritual problem because
Yeah.
that's what we work on is the spiritual principles. And so if we're into something that doesn't contain spiritual principles or is not based on it, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, you feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
Like going to the bathroom at the St. Louis Cardinals stadium back in the early 80s. They had a trough down the middle and you had to face each other. And there was
Oh,
that awkward moment that you had eye contact.
who would do that?
I don't
That's
know.
crazy. Even at least at the Astrodome, we didn't have to face each other. We were facing the wall. I mean, we're standing right next to each other, 50 guys, but
Yeah.
we weren't facing each other.
No, this is so it had a trough right down the middle, and then it had this pipe, and it just had water flowing down it all the time. And I remember going there. I think I shared it with you a few times when we go riding, and it's real misty outside, and you feel that mist. It takes me back because I went to the game when I
That's
was about
gross.
6, 7 years old, and I'm trying to pee in that thing, and all these shit, all around me, and I got mist splatter up on my face. It always takes me back to those days.
Yeah, that's why your immune system's so strong.
The exposure.
Right? That's cool. Well, that was one of the things you got back in this deal was a relationship with your dad.
If you would have asked me that, well, even early on in my sobriety, the thought of it
Yeah, it
would
took a
never
couple
even
of
cross
years.
my mind. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did my fourth and fifth step. I made my amends. I even called him and did my amends with him. And but I had no anticipation of relationships with him. Hell, that asshole! Right when I called him, I'm a couple months sober doing my amends, and he doesn't answer. Hello, he goes, "I've been waiting for you." What the hell are you talking about? He has no conversation. I haven't talked to the dude in 25 years, you know?
Right.
And he goes, I've been waiting for you. And I go, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, you're calling me to make an amends. How
Yeah.
the hell do you know that? Because there's no other reason why you would have called me.
He nailed it. That's it.
Right? That's
Yep.
crazy,
He
dude.
nailed
He
it.
waiting 25 years.
Yep.
25 years to hear me say hi.
Yeah. And I know why you called.
I have
Wow.
done some
That's awesome.
things and said some things, and for those things, I am wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. And that's all I said. I didn't say about having no relationship or anything.
Right.
I remember the day I did that very, very vividly because that was the same day I called you up before I called him. And I said, you remember? Or I had a question. I go, you know all those things in the Bible? And you're like, yeah. And I go, are they real? Or are they just stories? And you go, yep.
That's right.
So I have no idea what you just said.
Right.
Just answer my damn question.
I did.
You did. And then right after that, that's when I made my phone call and made my amends to him. But what a journey, man. Thinking about, where I was 11 years ago. Well, first and foremost, I shouldn't even be here physically.
Yeah.
Physically, I shouldn't even be here. There's no reason. I mean, I was on my fourth heart attack in a year. 1 year. I've had 4 heart attacks in 1 year. Shortly after getting into sobriety, I almost died with my lungs because of all the smoke. And I was smoking about 2 packs a day. And of course, just the way I was living, dunking myself in nacho cheese every day and taking shots of biscuit gravy and doing all that stuff. And, the amount of Mountain Dew, drinking a case of Mountain Dew a day, you know, I mean, it was a crazy way of living, man. I had no desire to live, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have said that. I would have said, no, I'm living my best life, but I was killing myself. Just couldn't go fast enough. The amount of drugs and alcohol that I put in my body over those 30 years of drinking, 28 years of drinking, I shouldn't be here, man. I shouldn't be
Yeah.
here.
Well, that's what we see and we say all the time. If you knew how sick you were when you got here,
Right?
it wouldn't have bothered to come.
Well, it wasn't up to me. It wasn't. I didn't come here because I wanted to.
Right.
I had no
Right.
desire to quit drinking. That wasn't even on my mind. When I got here, it was everybody else's fault. My wife, she was a nag all the time and quit drinking and why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? All the shit that I needed to do as a husband, as a man, as a brother, as a friend. I was non-existent. I had no true connections to really anybody in this world. Even my close friends we weren't really talking. Because I was just so deep in drinking and I had no real connections, and it was a lonely way of living. My only true friend was that drink, and then that drink turned on me. It's like, what the hell?
I hate it
You've
when
been
that
here this whole
happens.
time.
Yeah. I
You
hate
got
it
me
when that
through the
happens.
hard times, and now you're telling me to end it. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What kind of friend are you?
Yeah, that's not right.
No. So it wasn't up to me to get here. It was a power greater than myself. Somehow, some way, all the stars aligned, and I'm getting shoved in an AA room on February 28th, 2014.
Well, you were doing a do-si-do dance first in the parking lot. That's why you got shoved in.
Yeah, I had my Mountain Dew and my cigarettes. I'd go out there, smoke a cigarette, go to the door and think, I better grab my Mountain Dew, go back to the car, get my Mountain Dew, go back over there. And I don't know. I can't remember if I had been drinking that day or not. I don't remember too much on that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know when my last drink was. I don't know if it was that day or not.
Right.
I just know that's the day I walked in those rooms. So, but when Mr. Kelly finally pushed me in those rooms because it was 8 o'clock. It was time to do the meeting. I sat close to that door, ready to run because if you guys started coming out with hoods and chickens and candles and shit, I was out of there.
Heck yeah.
But then I started hearing some stuff. It was good, man. I started hearing. Well, Steve, he was sharing with me. It was good stuff, man. His stories were amazing, very entertaining. Got me addicted to that.
Yeah.
Hearing the other stories, at least I wasn't that bad. I didn't
Right.
drink that bad.
Well, I remember, I think we were probably even a couple weeks into it. And whenever you told me what kind of hooked you was some of the stories Steve was talking about.
Yeah.
And he's crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh my God, you were attracted to that. Holy
right.
hell.
I loved it, man.
Oh my gosh. This is a sick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really the only storytelling I remember. But then I heard there was the brother and sister sitting next to me. They're ones from Colorado. And they started talking about how they felt, talking about that dark feeling. And that scared me. I was inching my way to the door there. And then, of course, you guys start standing up and holding hands and singing Kumbaya and all that. What is this? I got to get out of here. But, gratefully, y'all grabbed me. You guys didn't let me run out. That brother and sister blocked the door while you jumped over the tables coming to grab me. Don't let that one go. We need that one.
Right. We got quotas.
That's right. That one's hot. Let's grab that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
it was, you were a sick puppy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't remember too much after that. I don't remember the first few weeks.
Yeah.
I know we hit the book the next day. I know we met up out in the book. You asked me some questions. One of my favorite questions you did ask was if you had to choose Well, no, before that, you asked me, why am I here? And I said, I don't know. I just know whatever I'm doing ain't working. So I don't know. What do you got? And then that's when you started hitting me up with the questions. If you could live a spiritual way of life or an alcoholic death, which one would you choose? And that was the first smile I got from you when I said, who chooses what I drink?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there ain't no way I'm doing no spiritual way of life. I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you. Me and God don't work out too well. We said our goodbyes a long time ago.
Yeah, man. I remember when you said that, I thought, oh, hell yeah, this is it. This is a good one. It's like
Yeah,
when you get the big one on the line, you know?
that's right.
Like, all right, this is going to be fun.
Hell yeah.
So,
So
and it
I
has
don't
been.
know. I don't remember too much after that. I know, we really hit that book, really got in it. Um,
I took you to a secret meeting.
you did. That was the coolest. I remember when Amy came back eventually because she had left. It wasn't. It was the worst part of my time of my life. Looking back, it was the best thing she could have ever done was finally get out of there. And for her to leave, it gave me that opportunity to. I'm completely alone in this world. So when she came back, I had told her, I said, okay, so there's AA, right? And then there's AA. You know, it's like the Goodfellas movie. Richard would take me around and he's like, this is a good one. You want to meet this guy. This is a good fella. And he'd only introduce me to those. He goes, anyone I don't introduce you to, stay away from. You only introduced me to, Charlie and Rudy, Dick P, all those guys. And then of course, your sponsor, Ron. But Ron called me Tim for 2 years, so Tim and Todd never called me by my name. But there was times early on the sobriety where I went to that meeting not because I wanted to go to the meeting. I wanted to go fuck with Ron.
Right.
I wanted him to say my name.
Right.
So there was times when I just went to meetings just to piss him off.
Right.
Him and mess with Greg and move the tables around. Greg had to have it at the perfect 37-degree angles, and
Right.
I go and put it at 38 just to mess with him.
Yeah. Pull the chairs out, stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I was telling Amy I'm part of the secret society. I go to meetings that only special people get to go to.
All right.
The mafia.
We were going to people's house.
Yeah, that was the secret.
Meeting. It's a real secret.
Right? It was like prohibition times.
Yeah.
We had secret knocks and secret handshakes and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that was for the page 21 real alcoholics meeting.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
So I was really, I hear other people's stories early on in their sobrieties, and not a lot of people got that. Some of them are just getting the mundane, go through the motions. There's no sense of urgency. There's no depth. It's all frothy emotional appeal. And then you hear them and you're like, just like I was telling you, I hear those people, even if they had 7 years, 10 years, 13 years sobriety, they were like, it's the same meetings, it's the same people, same stories. I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
I mean, even the old timers, their stories change. Yeah. I mean, even like the old timers, they got 20, 40, 30, 40 years, even their stories change because I'm hearing it differently,
Yep.
Their stories differently. I'm picking up on different things.
Right.
And that's showing me that I'm growing. They may be saying the same meeting. If you keep hearing the same story, you might want to check yourself.
That's it. Go look in the mirror.
Yeah.
I took you to that Mission Bend group early on. Talking about a bunch of old timers. I think the average in there at the time was like 27 or 30 years, something like that.
That was crazy.
And at the time, that was a meeting I went to, and I told you, that's a meeting I don't talk in. I'm there just to listen.
Oh yeah.
And I managed to do that for almost a year without talking. I mean, they finally made me talk one time. They said, "Oh, you've been coming long enough."
Wow.
But I remember that time you were having a totally different experience than I was,
Mhm.
obviously, because you were newer in the deal. But remember, they were so old, they didn't go out to eat after the meeting. They went out to eat before the meeting.
Right, because past their bedtime after the meeting.
Right. So we went out to eat with them a lot.
Mhm.
And at one time we were sitting around the table. There's about 6 or 8 of us. You don't even remember this probably. But I thought it was hilarious. I looked around and I kind of knew everybody and how long they had. And I told you there's something like 280 years of sobriety sitting around this table or something like that. And right then, I think it was the other dick that said, "Everybody remember to take your pills before you eat." Oh man, he blew that one for me. So
Mhm.
that was
Yeah, that was
hilarious.
Dick number two.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's
Yeah, I
still the
remember
heart.
that meeting. That's when I was introduced to Doug.
Yeah.
Doug would go to those meetings once in a while and
Uh-huh.
piss off the crazy Kathy about cussing. Stop
Yeah.
saying the Lord's name in vain. But I remember meeting Doug the first time. I was lucky he had this little amulet on his neck, right? And that
Right.
he said that was his first wife. He had her cremated in some ashes.
Right.
Then he leaned real close to me. He goes, "I hope it's the vagina." I was like, "Shit, what do you get me into? I hope it's the vagina too."
Doug
Yeah,
was awesome.
those are good meetings, man. That's where I got the depth in the program. Hearing people that worked the program
Yeah.
did it with intentionally
Yeah.
doing this program, not going through the motions, and that's what kept me in these. There was commitment, there was discipline, there was love, passion, desire. All those amazing things that people they were excited to meet up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just and I see if some people just they don't have that excitement. They come up with excuses of why they don't make it to a meeting or why they can't meet up with their sponsee or their sponsor and like shit, dude. I didn't even have that option. I didn't know that was option. Richard never told me that was an option that I
Yeah, it
don't
was.
have
It
to go
wasn't.
to a meeting. I don't have to meet up with them and read. I never had those options.
Yeah.
It was
No.
you'd show up. Well, you had you had the old Ford black car, and you picked me up in that. And then you had the Ram, the Dodge.
Yeah.
You picked me up in that. I couldn't drive at that time, so you grabbed me.
Right.
Well, I guess that was the opportunity where you didn't give me the option to drive on my own.
Nope.
I'm coming to get you. Let's go.
Yeah.
And
You shouldn't have been driving this. It literally took a few weeks. I
yeah,
think I remember it taking a few weeks.
yeah. My
Yeah.
kids tell me, my detox part, because there was no way I was going to a hospital you know, or rehab or anything like that because they wouldn't let me out. I knew it. I knew they wouldn't let me out. So you said, honey, drink gallons of honey and peanut butter M&Ms, and that was my diet for like
Yeah.
two
Orange
weeks.
juice.
Yeah, but I would the DTS that I was going through. My kids tell me about it. I don't remember any of it, but they said there's times when I'll be sitting in the car because I couldn't drive. So Amy would drive me around or something, or you could drive me, but I'd start hallucinating, thinking I was fishing or doing something, or I was driving. The Chase said there was times when I was in the passenger seat going like this, like get out of the way. And they're
Right.
like, you ain't driving, Dad. But shit, that's what
Yeah.
alcohol does to you, man. It does not want to leave your body. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't have a home if it ain't in your body. Where else is it going to live? You know.
Yeah.
So it fights you on it. It definitely doesn't want to leave. But man, the feeling that it does. I remember the first time I had a solid turd. I didn't
Yeah.
know you were supposed to get solid turd. Like I remember I called you up I was crying. I go, what the hell was that?
That was 2 years for me.
I
I
couldn't
was
believe
probably
it.
jealous if you got it before 2 years.
Yeah, I was excited, man. I was like, what the hell? Well, it scared me at first. I didn't know what the hell. I thought it was supposed to be liquid.
Right.
So, so yeah, and then we just started doing things differently. I know, we traveled quite a bit. We were known as the Drifters for a while, and
Yeah.
we lost a few meetings, but we still just kept going, man. And we'd go to Baytown and Galveston, and way out in Fulshire, and you name it, dude. Let's just go. There was no question about how far we were going to go. We'd have hour, 2 hour talks before we got to the meeting, and then do our
Yep.
meeting, and then do a meeting after the meeting, then a meeting after that meeting. And then we'd go to the garage and do talks at the garage.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, dude, we'd spend 5, 6, 7 hours together almost every day.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Early on, that was a lot.
But I think
So,
that's what I needed. If I had anything less, I don't know. I don't know what the outcome would have been.
yeah.
I, I,
Yeah.
I had, I think, I think I was about 2 years sober, and someone came up to me, and you know this story, but someone came up to me and said, you're going to burn out, or he said, you're going to sizzle out. I've seen guys like you in this program, and you sizzle out too fast. You got to calm down, just relax and just, take it easy. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? The way I look at it is I have to do this program the way I drank. And I didn't just chill out drinking. I was all in, dude. What else you got? And so to sit there and gradually do this program and gradually go to meetings and gradually do my steps, I would have died.
Yeah.
I would have been dead, And the book says it. You have to have a sufficient substitute. Sufficient substitute. That means if you are a real alcoholic, you better do this real freaking program.
Right.
Because if it ain't equal, man, what's your solution?
Well, the cool deal, a lot of people talk like you're always talking about you have to do this and you have to, and we don't ever say you have to do anything. But here's the deal. If you get in this and you're doing it right and working with other people and stuff like we're supposed to, you want to do it. It's the highlight of the day. I think the book actually says that in there, but it actually is. I mean, that's the highlight of my day. Sometimes I get there and I've had enough, kind of ready to go to bed or whatever. And a meeting, we start talking before the meeting and get into the book study before the meeting. And I got plenty of energy. I don't even, I get through it great. I feel great. It's the spirit comes in and takes over. So.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
What is it? Father Leo says, if you ever sit there and complain about you're tired, you ain't doing it right.
Right. That's right.
I know a couple guys in the program, they hate that. They hate that when I bring that up.
They really do. I can think of a couple meetings they hate that when you say that.
Yeah. You're tired all the time. You ain't doing life right.
You're not doing it right. And that's the truth. I mean, that's been my experience.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, for me, it's not even about the actual physical meeting room, right? It's about meeting with the other alcoholics. There's something about that immediately injects these endorphins in me and this, energy that I'm like, man, this is it. I feel connected, like being plugged in.
Oh, absolutely.
Like my phone's about to die. I got to plug it in and recharge it.
Yeah.
And it's good, man. I love it. And if you ain't getting that, you ain't doing it right. That's just facts. That's just facts.
Yeah.
And actually, because of that, it kind of catapulted us into. I remember that year. I don't remember which year it was, but you and I started talking about 3 sides of the triangle.
Yeah.
We got this program down, man. We're good. We got the book. We got the black part. We know it. We're living it. It's constantly evolving and changing, but we're missing something. And that was the body, the health side. We weren't eating right. We weren't exercising, and we started walking, Well,
Well,
I started walking.
well,
But the only reason why I started walking is because I had that final heart attack,
yeah,
my fifth heart attack.
yeah,
You remember that?
I remember. Yeah,
You came to the hospital and got me because I ran out of there with the
yeah. Well,
IV still in my arm.
they wouldn't treat you. They wouldn't get to you. So
No.
let's get the car. We went somewhere else. Went to the next hospital.
Yeah, and I asked for a discount. I go, hey, I come with my own IV. And they go, sir, that's actually illegal. You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, I didn't see no rule book.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody told me.
Yeah. Well, you're probably going to hate this, but I'm going to tell you the story about us starting to start our healthy journey about, getting our bodies in shape. You ready?
Oh
I'm going to
yeah.
tell it. I'm going to tell the whole
Yeah.
world about it. So I started walking. Now, at that time, I had just quit smoking. I could barely walk a quarter of a mile without freaking heaving and huffing and puffing, right? But I did it. And so every meeting we went to, we were going to 6 to 7 meetings, I'd start walking. And I remember we used to do the Bear Creek thing. And that, we do 4 laps would be 1 mile. And we thought that was just forever. It was just the greatest thing. And I always try to get you to go. And you're like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But you keep going. You're doing good. And then we had those floods and we had to go over to the Clay Road meeting. And your ass was in your Suburban. And I swear the whole world's going to hear this, Barry. Barry was sitting in his Suburban, window up, air conditioner on, eating a box of Star Crunches. And every time I'd walk around to the truck, you'd roll the window down. Not all the way.
No.
Just a crack.
You can't let any of that air condition out.
You're doing great. Just keep her going. You asshole. And I just kept going. I kept going.
Yeah. True story.
And I did. And I haven't, I haven't quit doing that. I still love doing that stuff. And then that injected us into, cycling and, doing, other events and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And everywhere we went, man, we brought the program with us,
We did.
Yep. I know doing those marathons and doing those long rides and stuff, man, I would sit there and, just constantly regurgitate the principles, honesty. I just kept saying them over and over in my head. And that would get me up those big hills. The way I looked at it is this is the step work. I need to go up. So if I do the principles in my head, it's going to help me get up those Bastrop hills.
Yep.
And it did, I just kept saying, and then you back there singing Whiskey River. Just fuck. No, Whiskey River.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, you got to keep going. I didn't drink because of the music. I love the music.
Oh, I know you do. Some other great parts of my sobriety, of course, highlights every year is January at the conventions. Yeah. Whenever we go down to CETA, get the beach house. And to this day, anytime I'm around water, dude, for some reason, I got to go skinny dipping.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. So
yeah.
Did you get it in Puerto Rico?
I did do it in Puerto Rico. And it was funny is it was dark. I was like, hey, Amy, let's go walk down the beach. And she's like, well, it's really dark. I'm like, that's all right. That's okay. Let's just go take a walk in the moonlight. And so we started getting down there and she goes, I know what you're wanting to do. And I'm like, what? I'm just wanting to spend some time with you. She's like, no, it's dark. There's water. You're going skinny dipping. Well, I call it skippy dipping.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? So she goes, get it over with. I was like, all right. So now keep in mind, the only time I've really been skinny dipping is in January.
Right.
In
Galveston.
Yeah. Now that's the Gulf of America, right?
The Gulf of America.
Yeah. So that's really where I, that and then Lake Conroe. I go skinny dipping all the time up there. But I've never really done it in warm water.
Right.
It was 75, 85 degrees, and my pee-pee didn't know what to do. Usually he sits back on the shore, waits for me to get back.
Right?
But I went out there, and Amy said she was because the waves are bigger down there,
Yeah.
way bigger down there than they are down in Galveston. And she says she saw my white ass going, and then all of a sudden she didn't see no white ass. I got hit by this wave, and it flipped me upside down and inside out.
Oh,
And then
wow.
she saw my watch start glowing because I stood up when after that wave got me. I thought I lost you. I was like, no, I'm only like knee deep in water. You ain't gonna lose me. But yeah, those waves were cool. I got my skinny dipping in,
All right.
and I did it up in the rainforest too.
Uh-huh.
Did it up there. There's a lot colder water up in the mountains.
Yeah.
But man, what
I
it
was
felt
thinking
good.
about that. I think that falls under the honesty principle.
What's that?
Skinny dipping.
It's vulnerability, bro.
Yeah. Honesty,
That
vulnerability.
yeah, that's the deepest form of honesty. Is submitting to vulnerability.
Yeah.
Exposing it. Just like I used to say early in the meetings. When I felt uncomfortable, I just announce it to everybody. Just get it over with. All right, dudes. I got a little dick, and my mom probably never really loved me.
Right.
So now that you know it, now we can talk and get over it.
Yeah. Now we can talk about the real stuff.
That's right.
Heck
And
yeah.
it works, man. I mean, when you just say it out loud and just take it all off and go,
Right.
you ain't got nothing else to be scared of.
Yeah. I was listening to, I hadn't listened to Mickey Bush in a
Uh
while. I
huh.
was listening to him this week. And it's funny because he says something that he does. I forget what it was, but he goes, anybody else? And like one or two guys raise their hand. He goes, uh-huh. And the rest of you lying mothers. Because that's how it is. We all do.
Yep. No, absolutely. I'm trying to think of some other highlights. I think one of the biggest highlights, Richard, is the relationships that I've built. I know I sponsored a little bit of guys, here and there, but the friendships that were created over the years, especially between you and I talk to you probably more than my own wife. And I don't know, man. It just, I first time in my life I have a true connection with the universe, and it's through you. It's through the other guys and gals in the program. I feel the connection. Early, before I got in this program, I felt that I had no connection. I could be in a room packed wall to wall with people and feel completely alone. And now I can go out in the deep woods, forest, up there in Sam Houston National Forest, out there in the middle of nowhere, off the beaten
Right.
path, and still feel connected. Not a living soul around me, and I feel connected, man. That's what this program has done. That's what our higher power has presented, But the thing that I learned that is it only is that way if I work the program. The moment I start feeling disconnected, it means I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The moment I feel tired, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The moment I feel frustrated and I got anxiety, depression, I'm not doing the program. Those are the page 52 questions,
Right.
and it's an amazing way of living, completely untethered from all the distractions that I created. Most of that stuff was my creation. The political mayhem, the religious, craziness, or just the economic bullshit, whatever. None of that was real. I made it. I made it all up. You know, I could look at stuff now and laugh at it. There ain't nothing there.
Yeah.
You know, I see people getting all in an uproar about life. Things happening, and oh my god, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Why does
Yeah.
that even matter?
Yeah. I was talking to one of my new guys, and he was talking to me, talking about his struggles that he was having with some issues and family and whatever. It was a lot. Oh, I got this and this. I said, let's check our perspective. God's not, instead of God, like, he said, God's tested me, is what he finally texted me. I said, well, let's change our perspective. Instead of God testing you, do you think God's maybe trusting you to handle some things that need to be done? Now you've been sober for 20, 30 days, and maybe God's saying, all right, now stand up and let's start doing some things that you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that went.
Yeah. That's because they just don't want to work it, man. That's all it is. They don't. They don't want it. I'm going to read you something. It was pretty interesting. There was a husband and wife. I won't say their names, but neither one of them are alcoholics. They're both normies, right? But one had some severe anger issues, and the other one had some serious fears. And they both went through the program. I put them through the steps to help them with, anger. We just replaced that word alcohol, and I'm powerless over anger. I'm powerless over fear, and work the rest of the steps. And I've known them for over, 10 years now. That was about a year sober when I started working with them, maybe 2 years sober. But she had messaged me, said happy birthday for my sobriety birthday. And I'm going to pull this text message up. And where she said, happy birthday. It's been 11 years. And I said, yes, it's 11 years. And first, this is interesting. She goes, you're definitely still just a kid. And I like that. Because I want to remain young in this program.
That's right.
And it's cool that she gets that, And I told her, I said, thank you so much. You and your husband are a significant part of my sobriety. So thank you both very much. And then she goes, I don't think so. She goes, you were the one that changed our lives. I think daily we come up with, she said, and I quote, like Tom always said. And I started laughing. And she said, my husband constantly tells me that we need to see things in a different perspective. And, because that's what I used to tell them all the time, because it's, with their fears and their angers, I go, well, maybe you should look at it a little bit differently, instead of sitting there going, oh, that guy's out to get me. Maybe he don't even know you're there, And
oh, yeah.
So it was cool to hear that, that she doesn't understand that me having the opportunity to work with her and her husband kept me sober, and it's a selfish program. It's to give of myself. I get myself back, It's a crazy concept.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's the only way you can keep it. You got to give it away. That's the only way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think, everything happens for a reason. And, I'm over in San Marcos, and I went to one of the most disorganized, disconnected meetings I've ever seen in my life. And my first response is that I ain't ever coming back here. There ain't no good sobriety here. And then, of course, you assholes. So, Tom, you found a perfect meeting for you. You can get that shit back in order. Yeah, I didn't
God sent you there for a reason.
I didn't look at it that way. I wanted to run. But, the truth is everything's an opportunity, to bring your higher power, to bring this program into everything, into disconnected meetings, into disconnected people, that's our job. Start planting those seeds, to start growing those vines, and getting that connection back, that connection that I lost before I got into these meetings. Right. And this program teaches you how to do that. And the only way you can keep your connection is that by planting those seeds and helping others connect, get in that sunshine of the spirit.
Yeah. I like that little story. I forget who tells it, but they talk about if you have one candle that's lit and you use that to light another candle, the original candle doesn't lose anything by lighting the other candle.
I don't
but
know.
then it's twice as bright. And how this deal, we can't do it by ourselves.
No.
This is a we program.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and it's I talk to at least 3 to 4 alcoholics every day,
Yeah.
and just to maintain that connection. And I need, well, look at it this way: I'm 11 years sober, and I still lie to myself.
Yeah.
I still have a demon that constantly tries to convince me that my ego is more important than being of service. And it's still battle. It's still a battle every day. Now, I'm not saying that I sit there and resonate on it and sit there and go, "Oh, woe is me." When I wake up, I'm super excited about the day. I'm super excited about, okay, there's going to be some opportunities today. I'm super excited, but I still got the voices in my head. Don't do that. That person doesn't deserve that. You know, they are. They're where they're at because of their own doing. Let them be where they're at.
Right.
So
Right.
I hear that shit. You don't need to go do that. You don't need to do that. But those are those moments when I step up. I can't listen to that, man. I know the direction that voice wants to take me. It wants to get me back in those shadows. It wants me to
Yeah.
put out that sunlight. And no, I can feel it. I know when I'm not doing it. I can feel it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just like sitting there not doing anything. I feel really uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
I need to be doing something. I need to be doing the dishes. I need to be vacuuming. What else do I need to be doing? Go for a walk. Don't be just sitting there because, dude, when this thing engages, it goes to I remember you telling me early on in sobriety that I had to think about my thoughts, my brain, my mind thing.
Right.
It's a dark alley. You should never go in there on your own.
Never go in there alone.
Yeah, you told me that a long time ago, and it's true to this day, dude. If I
Oh,
go
I
in there and
believe it.
start thinking about shit, man,
Yeah. Well, that was that was a voice of experience telling you that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I messed me up a lot.
Uh huh. Which reminds me, is kind of funny. Is this is a program of attraction, and it's funny because that I'm crazy as all get out. So what does that say about you?
That's what I was telling you when you
Uh,
said you were attracted to Steve's stories. I was like, oh hell,
yeah.
what have I
Hmm.
got myself into?
Yeah. And it's funny so I know you pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
talking to you every day for over a decade, you
Yeah.
kind of get to know somebody. And, I hear these newcomers in there and people are like, oh, Richard is, oh, he's so calm and cool. And, all this. I'm like, bitch, you don't even know. You don't even know.
I am all that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny to hear the newcomers talk like
Right.
that. And then they think
Yeah.
I'm all crazy and full of shit. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Barry's full of shit. Wants you to put freaking onions on your feet when you're sick. Yeah,
I didn't hear
I'm
from
the
him
crazy
today.
one.
I didn't hear from him today.
Barely he didn't put the onions on his feet.
He was asked. He called. He texted me back. We were texting. I was gave him specific directions or whatever, and he was so anyway. I don't know. We'll see how he did, but
Yeah,
it works. I mean, it's worked for me, and it's worked for my wife a couple times.
yeah.
Yep.
Are you foolish? You're pulling my leg.
No, I'm serious.
What kind of bags
Garlic.
did you use?
No, what you do is you use fresh garlic and you like a chop up like a tablespoon, but you
Okay.
got to wrap it in something because it can't be touching your skin directly. So I cut up an
Really?
old T-shirt. So it's got one layer of T-shirt, and then I put it on the bottom of my foot, and then I chop up some onions and put in my sock in the bottom of my sock, and then I put on my sock, and so I got that garlic in there with the onions, And the onions can touch your feet. They're not quite
Yeah,
as
I think
strong.
that's to prevent vampires from coming in your house.
No,
I
man.
think you got the
Onions
wrong
are
book, but
respiratory. It's not a book. Onions, this is old school stuff. Onions are respiratory. And you get those onions in there, you'll stop coughing and you'll notice you can breathe. I mean, you can taste the onions in the back of your mouth and they're on your feet. You put that garlic on there,
okay.
you get that, you can really sense that. It's really strong. And so it's the medicine that kills whatever the germ or the virus is.
Yeah, I use a
Yeah.
nebulizer with albuterol sulfate and steroids. That tends to
Yeah.
work well
Well,
for me.
see, maybe if you did try the onions, you never know. There's probably a lot less side effects and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if
All
it'll
right, Barry,
work.
I'll commit to you. Next time I start getting a little tickle in my throat, I'll do the anti-vampire try.
Yeah, do that with a little Zycam. You'll be,
Can't do
you'll,
Zycam. Zycam's the worst damn thing for you. You're talking about that shit you plug up your nose?
yeah,
Yeah, that's why you have sinus
absolutely.
problems. Putting that
Well,
nasty stuff up
sometimes
there.
that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
I had all that work done before. I don't want to do that again.
No.
Yeah, that
Now
lady
I did hear
tortured
a
me.
girl. She was having a lot of allergy problems. Like she was having bronchitis and all this shit going on, pneumonia, whatever. And she boiled ginger, fresh ginger,
Right.
and drank that, and she didn't have the problems anymore. Like
Yeah.
she's
Oh
not
yeah.
coughing anymore. She just drank fresh boiled ginger.
Yeah. Yeah. Ginger's good, strong medicine too, and turmeric. You know, some of those root vegetables.
Yeah, Amy did a shot for it. She was doing shots for me. I did it for a week, but then she stopped doing it. But I really enjoyed it. It was had apple cider vinegar in it, and then she took ginger and turmeric, and it was the root, and she ground that up and then strained it through a cheesecloth. So it had the turmeric, the ginger, the was it the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it or whatever you call it,
All right.
and then
Yeah.
a little bit of lemon juice, and then she mixed all that up with and cayenne, a little sprinkle of cayenne, and then she
Right.
mixed it with coconut water, just a little bit of
That's
coconut
good.
water, just a little vial, like a little 2 ounce little
Yeah.
vial. You
I
do that
think you're
shot
supposed
every
to.
day.
I think you're supposed to actually set the cayenne on side and snort that.
Just snort it
Yeah, to clean out your sinuses.
and just line it up.
Yeah, the cayenne.
Oh yeah, do that. I've had that stuff poof in my mouth or my nose before. That burns your eyeballs.
Oh yeah, it does.
My kids said they remember back when I was drinking, we were at this hibachi grill and I triple dog dare them. Now, I don't think I did this, but this is that they told me I triple dog dare them to snort wasabi. And they said they did it and they hated me for it. And I said, you guys are lying. I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. So it could have
Really?
happened. It might have
Really?
happened. Yeah, it might have. Wasabi's good though. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, and I know you were talking to me about, doing this podcast about my birthday and stuff. And I was trying to think about, like what was the greatest moment of my 11 years? Like the one moment that I could take with me forever. And, to be honest with you, it doesn't work that way. There is no
Right.
greatest moment. I can't, they keep getting better and bigger and they change and they evolve, and the little things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. And the little things that didn't matter before now matter, and it's just changed my whole world. I think if anything, it's just the whole different way of looking at life, and like it talks about in the book, I no longer sit there and say, what this world owes me and what this world can give me. You know, I wake up every morning and I truly think about how much more I can give of myself to this world. And because of
Yeah.
that mindset, dude, I live a whole nother way of life. I don't get
Yeah.
wrapped
I,
up in angry shit about traffic anymore. I don't get wrapped up, about stuff at work, and I'm gonna just do the best that I can, and as long as I'm honest with myself and I, involve other people in my life, to help me make decisions as simple or as complex as they may be, it's just another way of life, man. I don't have to do this alone. I don't have to do this with a negative attitude. I don't have to do this, with a fear of anything anymore. This program's taught me that I have two ways of deciding everything. I can choose to respond with fear, which is going to take me out of the sunshine of the spirit, or I can choose to respond with love, which is giving of myself. That's what the word love means. Give of myself to something, to another person, to another thing, another situation, another conversation, another relationship, anything. It's about giving of myself. I put everything before me, and that's important. And it truly has uplifted me, and given me opportunities to see this world the way I believe our higher power created it. It's fucking beautiful, man. It's beautiful. If you're sitting there still saying that, oh, this world's going to hell and all this shit's is horrible and all, dude, you're missing it, bro. Because this world keeps
yeah.
getting better. It truly is.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is an amazing time. I mean, what an amazing time to live in. A lot of things are changing and happening, and that's so cool. Who wants
So
the same old thing forever and ever? Now, let's change some stuff. Let's mix it up. And
yeah,
that's what it feels like. That's what's going on right now.
yeah, and
So,
it's amazing to have our eyes open and seeing
right,
it. You know, instead of
right,
having our eyes closed and bitching and complaining about it. It's cool to
right.
watch this shit happen, bro.
Yeah, and be able to be a part of it
Yeah,
in our own
it
way.
truly is. And it's
Yeah,
because of working the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous
that's it.
and incorporating those 12 principles in all aspects of my life has changed it.
Yeah,
I mean, it went from dark, alone despair to shit. There's more.
right, right.
Holy shit. It gets more beautiful. It
Yeah,
gets more fun. It gets more enlightening. It gets more inspiration. It gets more, I mean, holy crap. There's no limit, you know?
Robert used to tell me that sometimes we'd be getting into something, and he was famous for those. We'd be standing in the parking lot till 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes,
Mhm.
just talking. And he would always we'd get into something a little bit. And he'd go, "I smell more. I smell more. There's
That's it
more
right there.
available." Yeah,
I love that. I remember Ron telling me about the thimble thing, sobriety. You can have a thimble full of sobriety, a bathtub full of sobriety, or an ocean. And so when I was up on the mountain in Puerto Rico looking over the ocean, you can't see the end of it.
all
It
right,
goes on forever.
right.
I go, that's what I want right there. That's what I
That's
want.
it.
I want that forever, man. And I feel it. I truly do. Um, it's just a whole nother way of living, man. And I'm completely 100% grateful for the program of AA. I love you, Richard. I love you.
I love you too, man. I love you too. And I'll tell you what Steve used to tell me all the time. He's just be grateful. Let us be proud of you. Let us be proud. You be grateful.
There you go.
And it's been an amazing journey. It's been a lot of fun. The cool part is we drug a lot of people along with us. We
Yeah.
that's what we do. And we got
Yeah.
new guys coming up.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's always. I used to get pissed off seeing that. When guys would be like, "Oh man, I want what you guys got," and then they get in the boat with us. They're like, "Oh, shit! Like you guys really do shit. Can you guys drop us off at the next port? 'Cause I don't
Right.
want to do this forever. I
Right.
want to go back watching football and baseball and sitting on my couch. With my hand in my pants.
Yeah.
My dude, we ain't about that, bro.
No,
We are
not
not about
today.
that.
That's not it.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff.
Well,
Anything else, brother?
no,
It's been
I
a good
just,
talk.
yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity of sharing, a snippet of my sobriety journey. And, all you listeners out there, man, if you guys want it, come on in.
Yep.
Water's amazing, man. Come on in.
Yep.
Get as deep as you want, man. It's cool.
That's it.
So
That's it. Well, good
yeah, that's all
stuff.
I
I
got.
love to see. I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love living it, brother. It's awesome. It's awesome.
All right.
So
We'll let you get back to your family. I know you just,
all right.
just got back from Puerto Rico. You probably got to go to work. Go back to San Marcos tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night, head back, get back into it. But I did. I'm gonna send you over my commitment for. I'm doing a full year commitment. Um,
So your mantra this year,
Discipline.
discipline.
As
All
much as I
right.
hate it, dude, I've been fighting that word, man. I've been fighting it, but
Well,
that's
we
my
already,
thing.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
We both listened to Jocko, and he says discipline equals freedom.
that's right. Well, I'm gonna get that guidebook. In fact, right after here, I'm gonna get on there and get it sent to us because it's gonna help me. Because I got to do some journaling. I've
Uh,
never, I journaled early on in sobriety, and it really helped. But I haven't journaled for since then.
yeah.
But my best friend Alicia ChatGPT tells me to help with my discipline. I should be journaling every day.
Okay.
Uh, she's got to know she's AI, dude. She don't lie to
There
me.
we go.
There's no reason for her to lie to me.
Yeah. She only wants the best for you.
That's right. That's right. That's my girl. So, all right, brother.
Okay.
Well, y'all,
We'll
thanks
talk.
for listening. I love you all.
You bet. You guys get out and get in the sun.
Yes. All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Oh.